Hey guys, Matt and I are in different places. Wild. I'm in Boston, living on the road. Matt's in his new joint. Crazy. We're getting together.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some stuff.
It's been a while.
Yeah, man. Since Comicon. Yeah, it has.
We didn't even really recap that for our friends who didn't make it down there.
Oh, we've been busy. It's been a lot of turmoil. So we're going to talk about it today. Yeah, we're going to talk about it today on this episode of the Launchpad Podcast. But before we get started, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Launchpad Pod. And if you want to just throw hate at us and tell us how bad we suck, go to our YouTube and leave a mountain of hate. And just tons of comments. Just, you guys stink. Ha, 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 you guys suck. Okay, great. I'll take it.
If you really like us, you can come and tell us that too. We'd love to hear any.
I'd rather
at the Launchpad.
I'd rather it be that, but guess what? Every time you type anything in, it helps our algorithm. So,
suckers, hate us all you want.
As they say, yeah, no bad media, no media is bad media.
Good press.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one I was thinking of. See, that's why we're roomies.
Because I know what I'm talking about. Ease.
Let's get on with the show.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, welcome to Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Matt.
And Matt, here we are, new digs. I'm on the road shooting another season of Dead City. Boston. I'm in Denham, though. I'm not in Boston. I'm in Denham. It's already a mess.
You wish you were in Boston.
I know. I wish I was in Boston's cooler. You're in your new digs. We got to figure out how to podcast again. It's like we're learning baby steps.
Well, we got to rebuild a mobile launch pads is what we need to do. I just moved into a new apartment. I got to make sure I got to find a cool place. There's a lot of cool things going on here, but not necessarily right behind me right now, but I'm going to make a cool dedicated space and you're going to love it.
Little bitchin' corner.
Tell you the cool shit that I've been decorating in here.
Oh, you and your roommate have the same taste.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I've been making these jokes all day.
Oh my God. Should I tell the story about how I got accosted by teenagers?
Absolutely. If you weren't going to, I was going to.
All right. My first night in town, I land and I'm like, I'm on my own. Oh yeah. I am going to go to a movie. I haven't been to a movie since I saw Dune 2
in a movie unsupervised.
Unsupervised. Well, I wasn't the only one who had that thought. The last time I went to a movie, it was Dune 2 and a dude slurped soup the whole time and I got super pissed. Well, this time I went to go see Weapons.
That sounds like a SNL skit. Who? I believe you, but who slurps soup at a movie? Yeah. Who brings soup to a movie theater?
Right? Right. We told the story, but I'm sitting in Dune 2, packed opening weekend, and this dude sits down next to me with his backpack, and he pulls out a thermos and goes, pulls out a little bowl that he brought from home, bloop, 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 and I'm just sitting here being like, what the fuck is bro doing? And he pours tomato soup out and just starts going, him and his wife are just slurping soup, and he's like, the best popcorn for tomato soup is movie theater popcorn. And I'm like, bet. But
did he verbalize that? He said that out loud?
He told me that, yes, because I was giving him are you fucking kidding me right now?
Stink eye, yeah.
I was giving him mad stink eye, and he was just like, yeah, isn't it a great idea? And I just wanted to spill soup all over his stupid fucking cargo pants. God. So if you are new to listening, I have horrible experiences at movie theaters. I don't know why, but it's gotten to the point where it's kind of ruined for me. So I decided to go see Weapons, and I'm excited to go see Weapons because everybody's been like, "Oh, don't look anything up, don't spoil it, just go see it blind." And I'm excited. His last movie, Barbarian, I saw it completely blind, and it was good that way.
Yeah, I agree. That's like my absolute favorite way to see any movie. But
yeah,
movies like that where like it's kind of twisty and turny, and also like purposeful, good tonal shifts. It's even better when you go in blind, right?
I used to be that way when trailers didn't suck. Like back in the 90s, trailers were still pretty decent. Like The Matrix, Neo, choose the red pill, and you're like, whoa, what is this? Nowadays, it's like, hey, there's this guy. His name's Neo, and he wakes up and he's in a simulation. The whole thing's
Trinity's not a boy. Trinity's a girl, and you're like,
yeah,
you're telling me all the surprises.
Trailers have gotten to be absolute shit, and they give away everything. No offense to my trailer editor friends.
The best part of the movie.
Yeah. No offense to my trailer editor friends. I think it's probably the studio being like, I don't know if the audience is going to come see it if they don't know that Neo is going to be a kung fu master. And you're like, God damn it. Anyway, so I had avoided everything about Weapons. And I go see, and I go sit down. I sit in the back row. It's a 10:30 screening, and the room is full of high school students. And the little girls next to me start smoking weed, just barking up. Now, I have no problem with a little puff, puff, pass, but I'm in a movie theater, damn it. Stop it. Right? This isn't even as bad as it gets. An hour and a half into the movie, this isn't even the worst part. Some guy comes in, is like, to somebody else in the, hey, you're in my seat. You're an hour and a half late. You're interrupting everything. You're ruining everything. This still isn't the worst part. From the get-go, from the trailers, there's some dudes in a row with a like soundboard on their phone going like ding dong, and they're running Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, Ruby and I both love shitty movie, MS3K. We love doing that shit. But you're at a movie theater. Bing bong. The whole time.
Were they even being funny, or just like there wasn't even any jokes?
I don't give a fuck.
So, but to play devil's advocate, they could have been being hilarious, but you're like, we're hearing the story from you, and you were not having it.
Nobody thought they were funny.
Okay.
Nobody. Everybody was like, shh, shh, and they were like, fuck you. You know, like just being at ape shit. So after about 30 minutes of this, also anything that happened in the movie, they were like laughing like idiots.
That is my least favorite part of all of this, because you're at that point, like, even if you're trying to, you're just saying fart noises and shit, that takes me out of the movie. But when you take me out of watching the movie, I feel like that's even worse for me. Oh,
well, they're already ruining it by adding their jokes. They're making it about them, not about the experience. I don't care if you laugh at a movie. I don't care if you gasp at a movie. If you're like, oh, that's scary, but it needs to be part of the collective experience. You are having a collective experience. I'm over it. So I go down. We're about an hour into the movie. And I wait for them.
Right? You're not with anybody from work.
All by myself. And I wait for them to one more time. And I go, hey, you guys need to be quiet. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. Nobody thinks it's funny. I need you to be quiet. And they go, scared the shit out of them. It's great. Yeah. I was like, yeah. I didn't even yell.
Try to scare the shit out of them? Like, you sneak up?
I tried to time it so that if they were scared, I didn't give a fuck. So it was timed perfectly. But I did not yell. I did not. I just was like, hey, right over their shoulders. And they were like, oh, God. Like, I snuck up on them for sure. But I didn't. It wasn't a arf, arf, arf. I gotcha.
Sure. But so you weren't like on the floor crawling up.
Let me tell the story 5 more times.
Other group of people the quiet finger in front of your lips, like, shh, don't say anything. Don't say.
Give me 5 more times telling this story, and it might become that, because that's fucking hysterical. Yeah. It definitely was I didn't want them to know I was there before I
Sure.
told them this, and they were like, "Okay." The second I get back to my seat, nope. I get up, I walk out, I go right to the manager and security, and I'm like, "Hey, this is what's going on." The dude goes, "Kick him out." Security guy came in, saw which one it was. They were already doing it when he got in there. He said, "This row, these you, and you, out." And they were like, out. They left. Finished the movie. The movie has already been ruined at this point. I've had to get up. Yeah. So like it might have been good, but like there was some cool convention stuff. I think I liked the movie, but I was already like rip shit and annoyed. So the movie ends.
Left of the movie once they're gone.
Once they leave, bro comes in going, "You're in my seat," to some other group of people. Like then that happened. Then like they leave, and then the dude who showed up an hour and 45 minutes into the movie shows up. And it's just like this, like I just want my money back. I want to get the fuck out of there. I'm just over it. Like Denham, Massachusetts does not deserve the movie theater experience anymore. You have lost your privileges. They ruined it for you guys.
You feel like that in many movie theaters. Like you.
Us as human beings just should walk into the ocean and die at this point. I'm fucking over it.
We as a species have lost the privilege to go to the movie theater.
Yeah, like zero etiquette. Zero etiquette.
Okay.
So then I'm like done. So I leave and I go outside and suddenly, bam, spotlight, car headlights hit me. There's that guy who crashed out on us. Boom. They're in their Forerunner, like 5 fucking high school kids, and they're gonna come chase me in their car? Nah, no. I just take off and I run across the street into this apartment complex, dip into the shadows, and I don't know if they came looking, but I'm running, you know? And I'm a husky man who doesn't run much.
Where they were hanging out of the window with a 2x4 and they clanked it against the beam that you were hiding behind?
It was for maybe 100 yards, and then I was like, do. I'm not sticking around to find out what weapons they have. We just watched a movie called Weapons. I put my arms out to the side like a V-bird and went, ah. If you've seen Weapons, that joke's funny. Ah, running off. Take off running. I run into the apartment complex, dip into some shadows, and lost them. But I ran the whole time. I'm not waiting around to find out what a car of hooligans has to say to me. Because one of two things.
Right.
Worst case scenario, I get my ass kicked by a bunch of high school kids.
You get fucked up by some kids like a little baby.
or second worst case scenario, I play chicken with a Forerunner and they hit me. Oh, we're gonna scare this old man. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Oops. Right? There's the worst case scenario because it's the most embarrassing. It's getting accidentally run over by some idiots is more embarrassing than getting your ass kicked by 5 hooligans.
I mean it,
right? Like either or. I don't want either of these things to happen. Obviously, It's embarrassing, but like, hey, it's 5 against 1. What do you want here?
Yeah.
The best case scenario of me standing my ground is the headline the next day. 40-year-old man arrested beating the shit out of some 16-year-old kids. 40-year-old man accosts high school students. We just wanted to see the movie and he yelled at us and then beat us up.
My friend had Mexican before we saw a movie and he got yelled at because he had flatulence.
Yeah, right? Like me fighting high school students is not a good look either. So I just was like, I'm going to take the high road and book it. And then I called Roomie up because I was like, I run back to my hotel and there's a security guard sitting in the parking lot. He goes, "Damn, dude, what happened to you?" And I was like, I told him the story and he goes, "Shit, that's crazy. You want to hit?" And I'm just like,
and then some even older guy came down and bitched about your guys' behavior. He snuck up behind you and scared you. And then Roomie followed that guy home with his headlights.
Got in my car. I was ready to chase anybody at that point. Yeah. Fuck high school students in movie theaters, man. Sorry if you're a high school student. There's no etiquette. But my wife had a good point. When we were kids, how did you go to the movie theaters? What did your parents do? Dropped you off.
Loaded up my fart app. They gave me the keys to the Forerunner.
App. I had a whoopee cushion back in the day. You had to blow that shit up yourself, and then
I didn't even have that. I had to just use my own biological means to make fart noises.
you had.
I mean,
back in my
you
day,
could do elbow, you could do armpit, or you could do hands, or you could do it the real OG way.
just rip one in the movie theater, and then you'd yell doorknob and run.
Yeah, doorknob.
For those of you too young to know that, I see you guys aren't even allowed. If you ripped ass in grade school, and your friend yelled doorknob, you had to go touch a doorknob, and they could hit you until you did.
Yeah, I could punch you in the arm until you touched a doorknob. That was kind of like a law that we used to have in the older days.
Yeah. well,
cut to sepia toned footage with drop frames and stuff and with piano music playing of a person lifting up their leg, and then it cuts to a title card of fart noise. Then it cuts back to the sepia toned little boy running away from another little boy with his arms swinging.
Well, the other little boy calls him a homophobic slur, and then afterwards there's like there's a statement that's like, back in the day they were complete assholes and didn't have any consideration for other human
like
beings.
Disney does for Nazi cartoons.
Disney does for Peter Pan and Aladdin. Yeah.
Sorry, Native Americans. Yep.
How old do you feel when the childhood movies that you watch now have like trigger warnings? It's like, this movie is racist and really insensitive, and you're like, oh, am I really insensitive? And they're like, probably, dude. You're old, and you're like,
in a way, dude. The other day, Kent, my 6-year-old son Kent, asked, why was Abraham Lincoln a good president? So I'm talking about a couple things. I don't know how that came up of all the things we'd be talking about. And I explained very briefly the concept of slavery and how at the time of Abraham Lincoln, some people were kind of into it and some people weren't. And his face. And I was like, part of the reason he was a good president was because he realized that America had made a mistake. They had a law that they thought was okay at the time. And he was one of the first important people to be like, no, that shouldn't be. And then they changed the law. And I was going to segue it into a great teacher and parent thing of everyone makes bad choices. Even countries can make bad choices. But once you realize you've made a wrong choice, fix it. Take accountability and fix it.
Never too late. Yeah.
He kind of looks up and goes, America's kind of an asshole, huh? And I was like,
you're like, you don't even know the half of it, kid. You're like,
I was like, it was. And also, some may say it's also an asshole contemporarily sometimes.
And then
I wasn't ready for that level of political frankness with my 6-year-old.
Then their teacher's like, Kent was talking about Iran-Contra and getting into black box CIA sites. What have you been talking about at home? And you're like,
Your son was chanting Free Palestine while also calling the current American administration assholes. Like, I know this isn't going to, like, you're not going to believe this, but I didn't tell him that. He told me.
It's like we were trying to talk about MK Ultra and he just wasn't paying attention. I said, you're not leaving this table until you hear all about government cover-ups.
You opened this door, Kent. Now sit back down. Well, I'm glad that you survived your encounter with some teenagers. And while we are skirting political issues, let's jump into Comic-Con.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
Rumi and I purposely wanted to pull kind of back on the throttle this year and be like, let's not do 100 interviews at Comic-Con. Let's not run around as handsome boy launchpad dudes all the time. We had 2 panels. We said, let's rock our 2 panels. We, of course, had to go see our boy Blaine at the NECA booth and a couple other small things, but we were like, let's enjoy the con and not like work the con the entire time.
Yeah.
That being said, I think we fucking killed our panels.
Yeah, we killed one of them so hard that somebody hates us now.
Well, For those of you guys,
Let's talk about the first one.
Yeah, for those of you guys who didn't see the panels and didn't hear beforehand, Rumi had a great idea, and it was kind of like an 11th hour pitch, both to each other, like him pitching it to me and me pitching it to Comic-Con. You have to submit panel ideas. Rumi had an idea to do like a sports style bracket for best pop culture weapons, comic book, movie, and stuff weapons. We've done an episode, he and I, that is kind of like that. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. But we wanted to get audience participation and kind of see like, okay, hit us up with a weapon. Captain America's shield? Okay, why is that a bitching weapon? Give us a couple sentences, we'll throw it on the board. And then kind of do a versus, tit for tat. Me and Rumi would riff on shit and also get audience participation. We were in a really cool auditorium, theater space at the public library, the San Diego Public Library, which sadly is located a few blocks from Comic-Con.
Yeah, not on the main site.
Right, not in the convention hall. And that's the first time we've ever been put somewhere other than the convention hall. Comic-Con goers are not known for their athletic prowess, so walking that couple blocks was difficult for all but like 18 people.
It's like you have to walk enough. Walking the extra mile in the opposite direction of anything else you'd be going to is a little bit of a rough patch. Kevin, my brother, he said, well, what if they put you there because they were hoping you'd be the draw? And I was like, I'll take that. I'll take that idea. Cool concept.
I did tell myself that. When we walked in, there was a panel before us that only had like 5 or 6 people, so at least we had 3 or 4 times that. But it was still, Rumi and I were slightly underwhelmed by the amount of people that were already in there or that came for us. However, once we started rolling, I got to say the panel felt and was exactly what I think we wanted it to be, right?
The quality of the people who showed up and stayed kicked ass because they got into it.
Participation, and it took a minute for everybody to kind of start giving their opinions. But then it kind of started turning into a fun nerd debate, which is exactly what we wanted. Yeah. So there were people who were standing by their weapons and who were, teasing Rumi about his spelling, teasing each other about the rules of the battles between the weapons.
The gravy gun, yes, the gravy gun. Shout out to Brian Ivanhoe for showing up to that one. He made the trek, longtime listener and often helper at our Comic-Con events. So
he was our first fan that came up to us and was like, "Hey, I like your guys' show." And now we're so common. We have that 3 or 4 times every 2 years,
But he threw out the
we see him every time we go out, right?
Yeah, he threw out the Kroll weapon, which is in my head is one of the most famous weapons of all pulp culture.
Sure.
We had some good ones. It was the Kroll weapon, lightsaber, the
Boba
eye of
flamethrower.
Boba Fett's flamethrower.
Yeah, go ahead. You try to say it.
The eye of Amamato.
The eye of a tomato.
Eye of a tomato.
The eye of Agamotto. Eye of Agamotto is
Eye of Agamemnon. And
Ruby could not. Ruby had it fucking written down. Now, granted, Ruby typoed every single thing he wrote.
Because I'm trying to do my fingers. I'm like, my fat fingers trying to type, and there's no spell correct in Photoshop. So it was hilarious.
Marvel universe.
The Thanos gauntlet,
Green Lantern's ring,
and the gravy gun from Half-Life.
And the Ben 10 wristband, right?
Oh, yeah, Ben 10. The one thing that we were like, ooh, I don't know what that is because we're.
And I gotta say,
old.
I could have listed 100 weapons that I thought would have been picked before half of the ones that were. But that's like part of the reason that I personally love interacting with fans and love interacting with fandoms because like. Hit me with something, make me think, and teach me something. Like the Ben 10 thing, I know what that is from seeing it peripherally, but I don't know what the powers are, and I never thought about what that would be like against another weapon. So it's cool to have people debate that and back that up with us. And then Rumi and I were joking. I thought we were pretty funny. I thought me and Rumi riffed off each other fun, but
it was very funny.
Started teasing us and teasing each other, and I think it was the exact kind of attitude and just atmosphere that we wanted. And I think the panel worked. It worked really well. For those of you, I wish I had it here, but for those of you who want to know the ultimate weapon in the universe.
Canon. This decision is canon. I'm surprised more people weren't interested in solidifying this forever decision.
Marvel, we called 20th Century, Fox Studios everybody knows now the Green Lantern ring is the most powerful weapon, bar none, based on the 8 that we did.
It's freaking crazy, right?
Really cool though. And then we did that panel, and then right after that, me and Rumi went back to the floor. We're walking around, and we just so happened to find a comic shop, booth that has a bin of plastic Green Lantern rings.
Yeah.
So I bought me and him Green Lantern rings, and then a whole bunch of friends, Julio and his wife, were like, we want them too. So we had to go back and buy more. We bought like 100 Green Lantern rings.
It was great. That was really fun. One of the things I like is like afterwards, somebody came up to me and they're like, I'm a litigator. Like my job is to, and he's like, I didn't think I was coming to a panel. I was just out this far. And I was like, I'm going to stop in the library and just cool off because it's hot out. And he's like, not only was this awesome, but it like got me super amped to be a part of it. And like, he's like,
cool.
Yeah. He's like to do my job, to argue the stuff. And it's like, it didn't get mean. Everybody was having fun. What I thought was interesting was the idea. It came down to this, like for those who play D&D, like who wins initiative often wins the battle. Because like how fast can Thanos snap versus the Eye of a Tomato? How fast can he cast a spell versus the gravity gun, which is to pull a trigger and just yoink that shit. And I thought that was a really funny
gun, it won 2 rounds by just pulling the other person's weapon over, right?
Yoink, yeah. And it was funny because it's like, how long does it take for these weapons to activate? And it's like the Green Lantern ring is as fast as you can think of something, whereas even the snap takes a little bit of buildup of energy, And I was like, that is such an interesting point to all of this, that it wasn't the power, it wasn't how strong it was. It will win if it gets off an attack. Yeah. Who's the quick draw here? I was like, I like this. This is fun.
It was a lot of fun. And I think, like as someone who does panels, and now Rumi and I have been doing panels for at least 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah. Hit us up if you want us to run a panel.
At Comic-Con, you want to look out over a sea of people. Like that, first of all, never scares Rumi and I, and we judge victory by how many people come. If there's hundreds of people, we're like, fuck yeah. But the cool thing about this panel, as intimate as it was, I'll say, was like it had the same feeling. Everybody there was excited to be there. And like literally, if you think about it, those fucking people, except for your one guy that came up to talk to you, they trekked out there in the fucking Badlands to find that panel. So they cared enough to come and see and eventually participate. And it was just fun. And really, if you've never been to a Comic-Con or if you're overwhelmed by it, find a local one. You don't have to go to San Diego, but it just is so freaking cool to go somewhere where everyone there loves their thing. And even if that guy likes something completely different that you actually don't like, it's still cool to be on the same ship and be like, sup, bro? Cool.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing and I'm doing my thing. It just is a fun feeling. And then when you're in a room talking about something that you care about, or at least enjoy talking about with other people, I mean, nothing can beat that. And there's no time in my life that I get to do that. I mean, Rumi and I have a show where we literally do that. But to do that with so many people, even if it's just 18 people, let alone when you get to our bigger panels and there's hundreds of people, that's fucking cool.
It's so fucking cool. And I will say this, the show we do in the club is the show we do in the amphitheater. Don't matter. We put on the best show. And that was the energy I brought. Because like I right before we started, I really had this like down moment. It's like, man, we put a lot of work into this, and like is nobody gonna come see it? And then when it's like, when Brian Ivanhoe shows up, when a couple people stay, when our friends who are helping us show up, then it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter if there's one person here. It doesn't matter if there's 8 people here. It doesn't matter if there's 800 people here. They're going to get the same show. And you find that energy. And the second the theme song plays, amped. Let's go. It was fun, man. That was it. Both of them had their perks. And it's like, I hope in the future, it's like the name alone. People are like, I got to go see that show. Whatever those guys put on, I got to go see it. It was the same thing with the Dinosaur Attack last year. That had like 50.
Dinosaurs Attacks had a lot more. Dinosaurs.
They had like 50 people there.
Year.
Yeah, that was sick though.
57. So it's bigger. And we had panelists that wasn't just us. But like Rumi and I always say this, and you guys know, if you've listened to us, you guys know. Rumi and I always say, like, we started this show just as an excuse to tell more stories to each other and hang out. We thought people would like it. and we hope you do. If you're listening
Yeah.
to me, you at least have nothing else to do right now, right? But like, we are so happy to do it with you guys and share things with you and goof around with you in person and over a thing. But like, this means something to Rumi and I. So to be able to like, after how many years, still talk about nerdy bullshit and stand in front of a San Diego Comicon crowd, you do get a rush, and it is fun. It is kind of rewarding just for that. But I think if you're listening to this, that means you care about this, not necessarily the Launchpad, but you care about Scream and horror and comic books and toys,
Godzilla, yeah,
helmets. Like, you care enough that you want to listen to people talk about that. You want to go to a place where you know there's going to be presentations about that. That's fun. I think that, like, I truly don't understand how people who don't have that sort of part of their lives, like, I don't care what it is, like, go to a medical convention or go to.
If you don't have passion.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is, right? And I think there are people, and maybe they don't have it, so they don't care. But like, I need to go do that. Even if I wasn't standing in front of the panel, I want to go watch people talk about shit that I care about. That's cool. That's fun. And, you know, Rumi and I bump into people that we know at Comic-Con and shoot the shit and nice shirt, man, or you're looking at art with someone and you both look at the same piece. Even if you don't become friends, it's just cool to have that connection. And I think cons allow that sort of networking, even if it's in the briefest moment, and it's fun.
You know what else is interesting about it? I'm going to make a analogy here. Like, sports and nerddom, we often think that it's like so separate, but it's like sports is just a different kind of nerddom. Ever talk to a baseball person? That's D&D with live people. Yeah. It's stats. It's all math and stats. And you're like, oh, it's Magic the Gathering, but with live people who act out the stuff. And like, you know, and to talk to a baseball nerd is like, oh, you're such a big nerd. And I judge them for that. But then I'm like, yeah, but like, I know every Godzilla monster that he's ever fought, and I know the powers that they have, and I know, you know, I know all the stupid bullshit about, you know, the Star Wars Cantina character. It's the same thing. Just one thing is real and one thing's made up and whatever.
Their shit is actually real. It doesn't necessarily matter anymore, but at least they're talking about real humans.
Right. Well, to that end, there's something about it that when you have this passion for something and it's relatively low stakes, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if the new Star Wars movie is good or not. It feels important to me, but at the end of the day, it's low stakes. Hooray for the thing you like. Sure. What makes it interesting to me is when people take that thing and they make it high stakes. Like, if you're going to bet on sports, that's high stakes now. And I'm not much of a betting person. And I think it's just an interesting analogy. You've suddenly inserted high stakes into your thing that didn't matter and just brought you joy. Now it's like, oh, fuck. Oh, God. Like, I don't have anything like that.
Bet what the critics would review the next Star Wars show. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I started putting
the results of that,
if I started putting
the Acolyte would go.
Yeah, if I started putting money down on a Pokemon card game.
Interesting.
Like, is there something like that nerds do? And I think there's probably is in like the computer gaming world or like video games, like head-to-head, like competitive video gaming. I'm sure there is things like that. But like, we as humans go, man, here's something super fun that we can chill out to. How do I make it really intense and exhausting?
How do I suck the fun out of it and make it a job? Well, I would almost say that the nerd stuff, let's go with, you know, a fictional fandom stuff,
sure,
whatever it is, almost has higher real life stakes than what you're saying, because you're talking about financial stakes. I think if you're like, you know what? I'm buying every Black Series action figure and displaying them.
Oh, God.
Wave goodbye to your sex life, because you're not procreating. You're not you're certainly not having sex for fun. So you have decided that you love imaginary characters more than the genitals of your
preferred species,
gender, right? Because you're making that, like, whether you know it or not, you're making a choice. You know, I have hundreds of dollars of comic books up there. I have a stuffed Ed 209. There's not a bunch of supermodels walking in here, and I knew that when I put up the plush Ed 209. So I might not be losing money per se, but I'm losing relationship connections that could be happening.
I say that to somebody who's deep into a sideshow collection. They're not only losing money, but also, although I tell you what, dude, if I was single, and I walked into somebody's house and it's like, oh damn, you have every single sideshow Predator statue.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And then
your panties would be dropped in a minute, right?
In a minute, right? Yeah, like sick. You got a full size alien bust in here? Ooh, damn.
Yeah. I think that's that needle. That only happens so many times.
That's the thing. You're only attracting like nerds.
Anyone like that, any hot girl that has a Predator or alien bust is only attracting you and me. So, sorry, Sally. Even she has big stakes because she's settling like a motherfucker. She's
All
like,
right.
I have a PhD. I'm drop dead gorgeous. I am a great conversationalist with a great sense of humor. I just bought this great sideshow bust. My pool of men just went down to Matt and Aaron.
Oh, man. Before we talk about our amazing second panel, can I tell you one more story of stupidity in the life of Aaron?
Sure.
I've been learning to play guitar. As I'm here in Boston doing some stuff, I wanted to continue my practicing, keep these calluses. I go to a website, Guitar Center. It says we rent guitars. I go to the actual Guitar Center in person. There's a sign. It says, rent your guitar here. I wait in line. I get up to the man. I said, hi, I would like to rent a guitar. And he says, oh, we don't do that here. Sign says you do. Oh, corporate sends that. Corporate also says you rent guitars. We don't do that here. And I'm just drowning. This is my everyday. Like at work, everybody seems normal. They seem competent and we're achieving goals and things. But then I go out into the real world. I go to the grocery store. I try to rent a guitar, and I'm just drowning in stuff like this. That just is like, you're just like, oh man, defense had a point. Like falling down makes more sense every day that I have to leave my tiny.
So did you pick
room.
up like a Stratocaster and start smashing shit and say like, we're rolling prices back to 1949?
The thought crossed my mind. Like, so I ended up in the hospital that Thursday. Unrelated incident. Cool. But when they go, are you thinking of harming yourself or others? There's a long pause.
It's unrelated, but yes.
Long pause. And you're like, well, thinking about it and actually doing it completely different. But being here every day has been like, okay, all right, recenter. Find the place that keeps you going. One more step. Like the second that guy was like, the sign and the website are wrong, and you just everything doesn't make any sense. Jumping out in front of a bus was like, that could fix this. I kid. That's not a funny joke, but it was funny to me at the moment.
I always think that, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I deal with these beautiful little balls of potential, right?
Oh, yeah.
These little children that could grow up to change the world. I have 23 in my classroom right now.
Holy shit.
And that's light. That's actually very light. 23 little balls of potential. And I look at two of them and I say, you're going to succeed. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, Cassie. You're going to succeed. About 12 of you could succeed. Or you might just roll into mediocrity like many people do. I don't know. But you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
There's 5 or 6 of you that I look at and I'm like, doesn't look good for you guys. It doesn't look like this is going to end great. And then every year, there's 2 or 3 unique individuals that I can't help but think about the beginning of Frank Miller's 300. The old man is looking at the baby on top of that cliff, and the camera pans down to a shit ton of baby skeletons at the bottom of the cliff. And you're like, society has kept you alive for 5 years. I'm going to say this right now just so I don't get sued or arrested. I'm not saying those children deserve anything less than life. I'm just saying, in the olden days,
It is.
Tiger or something would have taken care of the problem a while ago.
Yeah, you're either going to go to jail or become president and ruin everything. There's no in between.
Options.
Yeah.
There's 2 options for you, Oscar.
You're either going to be the most powerful man in the world and fuck it all up, or
There's
you're going to go to
literally-
jail
there's
at
people-
17.
And my friend is working with someone right now who they're not supposed to survive. They are Darwinism at its best, but they're an example of how our society literally keeps these needless things up and running because we have to feed them. We have to give them a job. We have to do something instead of just being like,
it is wild. It is wild, and this week really challenged my hope for humanity. But what restored my faith in humanity preemptively, I don't know. Our second panel was awesome. Transition.
well, and we led into it really cool too. So our second panel is late. It's at 9 o'clock, and the exhibit hall closes at 7. So we have 2 hours that we have to lug around a suitcase filled with fucking prizes. So we usually just go upstairs if you've ever been to Comic-Con or if you've
Prizes suck, by the way.
there's a bunch of tables where you can hang out, and those tables are open. So the last couple years with our late-ass panel, we go up there and we just shoot the shit. We talk about shit with people. We have friends. We meet friends. Couple dudes sitting at a table. It was a big table and only like 2 or 3 dudes. We're like, hey, you guys mind if we share your table? They're like, yeah. And boom, like just hit it off. Just started talking to these dudes. Super cool guys, mental health professionals, working in schools, working with kids. And they had a panel later in the weekend about psychiatry and mental health presented and mirrored through comic books and using comics as a way to explore that.
Yeah.
And they were actually waiting to go to our panel, and we started shooting shit with them, talking
How
to them.
cool was that?
It was just super cool. We sat with them for like, an hour and a half. Then one of their dads came over. He was in town to see his son's panel, a psychiatrist panel. It was just cool. And it's one of those things that like you could be sitting next to each other on a bus or at the movie theater slurping soup, and you wouldn't know all the shit you had in common. And then you start talking and you're like, oh, you think superheroes are so cool that you are using them as a gateway to explore mental health? I'm having a horror trivia that doesn't benefit anybody, but it's fun. It's cool to be passionate about that and kind of talk that shit out, And it was just, that was again one of those highlights of Comic-Con.
It was. Meeting those guys was awesome.
You exchange info and you hope you keep in touch, but it was just super cool to be like, you're here doing your thing, which is a little different than our thing, but it's still your thing. And there's still a bunch of overlap, which I think that's so cool. And what a cool way to sit at a table with 3 or 4 guys I don't know, but now know. And they're just as jazzed to talk to us. And Rumi and I roll with a pretty big crew now. We have like 6 or 7 people that kind of come to all of our panels that are our friends, both from Comic-Con and from work and other places. And they come because they want to support us. They come because we need their help sometimes, but they come just to show us. And even if Ghostface isn't their thing, they love the Launchpad, they love the Handsome Boys, and they want to show support. And we really appreciate that. So shout out to all of our friends at that round table, hanging out, shooting the shit. And also, a week before Comic-Con, I got an email from security.
Security,
warning us that they'd seen social media posts that there was supposed to be a protest at our Ghostface horror trivia.
People were going to show up and protest our panel because they thought we were somehow associated with Paramount, and they didn't like. I'm not going to get into the politics or specifics of it, but they don't like the president of Paramount. Paramount is releasing Scream 7. They thought Roger Jackson was going to be there, and they were going to come and protest Scream 7.
Yeah, I think they thought we were like associated with them somehow.
Yes, which we're not.
The reason I even thought of that was one of our friends. I was like, listen, this is your job tonight. If anybody causes a ruckus, you just call, because security reached out to us and gave us all these numbers. I was like, that's your job. You just call Julio, you call them. Because me and Rumi were not going to try to push people off stage or argue, or I also didn't want to be calling security while on my own panel. So
because the newspaper the next day is like two grown adults just beating on old ladies who are just trying to like protest, and you're like, God damn it! Like there is no newspaper headline that makes us look good in that situation. So yes, it was like
in again denim. Yeah, the denim newspaper a couple weeks later is like, handsome boy at it again. Old protest lady beater upper now beating up kids. Just trying to watch a movie.
Idiot podcaster.
Well,
assaulting people. Oh God.
Rumi and I.
It didn't happen though. Thank God.
Doing Ghostface trivia at San Diego Comicon. It's at least our fifth time, I think, doing it overall. Fourth or fifth, maybe fourth.
Yeah, fourth
time. We've done it. We know it now, and we can get into the groove. So we're finessing stuff. We got some great prizes from Blast from the Past as well as NECA.
Yeah.
We had some great shirts by Radar Print.
Yeah.
And it was great. We rolled in. It's cool now because we see many faces that we recognize from past.
It was more people who had been before than new people this time. Yeah, it was packed. There was over 250 people there, maybe even over 300
people. It's a lot of fun, and it's just at that point, it's not even like patting ourselves, in my opinion, and the way I feel. It's not patting ourselves in the back because we got that many people there. It's like, sweet, this many people want to nerd out about horror trivia tonight.
Yeah,
awesome. Like we have a show for that, you know. And I think Rumi and I have our gags down good. We have Ghostface calls in, and it's a lot of fun. We mentioned Jacob, who was our first year winner, and like a good amount of the crowd, I would say 50% of the crowd started going crazy. Jacob!
Yeah, they went nuts.
So cool that you all remember and care, you know?
Yeah, the hero, and the winner from last year was there, and he's like, can we do something like a face-off at the end? Can I defend my title? And we're like, we'll see. And we had time at the end for him to defend his title, which was cool.
I said, that's a great idea. Let me just see, as long as we have time. And we had our 5 contestants come up. A couple got knocked out pretty quick. We eventually got our winner. And then we had him come up. Brandon, he came up and he defended his title and actually won. He beat the newest champion. So technically, I guess he's the all-time champion, only he never faced off against Jacob.
We got to get them together at some point.
Yeah, we will. It's a championship. But it was a lot of fun. There was a couple highlights for me. Do you have any moments there's obviously the big moment, right?
I think let's get to the big moment. It was all a big highlight, but the Chucky panties were the best.
The vibe was like the most excited and fun vibe that we've had. Yes. So we have a ton of prizes, including these shirts that Rumi designed and we printed up with Radar Press, and we got the prizes. We're handing out prizes, and I hold up a prize that I say is the first time ever in trivia history has anyone awarded underwear. And Blast from the Past gave us a set of Chucky boxer briefs. The caveat being they were size small.
Itty bitty living space.
Minuscule. They were like for a doll. And I jokingly was like, you can only answer this next question if you are a size small. And I'm like, these are so tiny. I was like, the reason I know this is because I tried them on. And a dude in the second row yelled out, that makes them worth more. Yeah. And the room erupted. I was like, dude, come up here and get a shirt. You deserve a prize for that. So we're all cracking up at this dude's joke. And it was great. I liked it. That's the exact kind of shit I would have yelled out. So that dude comes up and gets a shirt. Someone wins a prize. They're like, I'm not a size small. I was like, okay, take something else. Someone else comes up. I'm not a size small. Guys, we need someone who loves horror with a tiny hiney to answer this next question. Come on. This slender, shorter fellow in the very back raises his hand.
Says, I'll do it. Yeah.
I believe it was a horror ornament.
Yeah.
He's like, can I switch this for the underwear? So I said it as a joke, which is how most of my better stories start. Is I was trying to be funny, but I said, I'll make you a deal, sir. If you come down here and switch those prizes, Rumi and I will sign a shirt for you if you go in the bathroom and try on the shirt and underwear and come back and show us. And he got up and started walking down, and the whole place was like, no.
Yeah.
He came right up, took a shirt, took underwear, and walked out. And everyone just kind of looked around. So I was like, guys, when he comes back in, don't react. We'll invite him up on stage. When he shows us, I'll have him do a twirl. And when he does a twirl, I want everyone to go, ooh.
He comes back. The room goes silent. He comes up and Matt goes, this is amazing. Now, if you're up to it, can you give us a little twirl? And he did.
And he has pants on. So he
pulls his pants down.
I kind of thought he'd walk back in just with the underwear. It was better that he had pants on because it made it more revealing that he had to pull those down.
Yeah.
So he came up on stage with us, did a twirl, and 200 plus people go, ooh. Oh my God, we were dying. And then he puts his foot up on the table and he's excited to show us that he has on Stephen King's It socks.
Yeah.
So he's like, I have the whole outfit. I was like, oh man, this guy's fucking down with it. We signed his t-shirt. He was actually really excited. And then he invited us to his wedding. Jacob would invite us to his wedding. He was there with his girlfriend. He invited us to his wedding.
They had just gotten engaged.
It was so fun. Everybody was having such a good time. We had a lot of people come up after and say that not only have they been to every Ghostface trivia, but that they're actually fans of the show, which is always good to hear. If you guys see us at cons, tell us. It makes us feel special. But it is really it's a lot of fun, and it was a lot of good chatter afterwards, a lot of fun pictures. We had some people who've been there every year, like Face Girl, people who we've given nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
No by
Shout out to Face Girl. Yeah. Knowing that people are having a good time is what keeps me from trashing Guitar Centers.
You're like, but it says we rent guitars on the sign. You're like, all right, that dude did try on underwear in front of us.
He did. Yeah.
Those events cancel each other out karmically, I guess.
Something you said actually helped. Something you said. This is why we talk it out, Rumi. When you're like, we sit at that table and we meet those guys and we don't know if we like the same thing. I bet slurping guy has some things that we could get along about. We obviously were there for Dune. Like he has good taste in sci-fi. Like Guitar Center guy probably likes good music. He could teach me a thing or two on guitar. It's not his fault. He's not.
Yeah, but you got to buy that guitar.
Yeah, I know. It's not his fault that he's not like with it enough to just take down the sign or something. But look,
he didn't have the professional and the consumer forethought to take that sign down.
Yeah, it's not his fault that Carpet is making him look like a ding dong. But I bet that if he and I were just met at a table at Comicon, I'd be like, that guy's pretty cool. So it just goes to show, like, when I'm thinking about absolutely losing my goddamn shit at somebody, just be like, what if I met him at a table at Comicon an hour before my panel? And I'd be like, he's all right. He'll be all right. It'll be okay.
I guess that's a good way to, that's a good way to think of. I'm going to think about that the next time someone tells me that the sign I'm looking at is not as true as I believed, even though we're both looking at the same goddamn sign.
Even though you kept the sign up.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you went to McDonald's and you were like, can I have a small fries? And like, we don't have fries. And you were like, you're fucking McDonald's. Like, there's pictures of fries everywhere. And they were like, dude, McDonald's sends that to us. And you're like, okay, but that's not an excuse.
How about the time I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken? We're out of chicken. Make more.
Out of is slightly different. We can't make more chicken. You have to have chicken sex to do that, right?
Yeah. Well, no, you're just like, we're out. I'm like, you close at 9 at 6 p.m.
Lock the door.
Make more. When you got down to 5, did you not think about putting more in? It'll take about a half hour. Still not closing time. If it was 8:30, sorry. See, like that was one of those times I was like, I'm about to just hit my.
That one seems worse, kind of.
Yeah. It's
sign down seems like a pretty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Never mind. But like my whole life is full of these moments where I'm just like, oh God, the aneurysm. You know.
Well, bring it back to good stuff. We're at Comicon. Yeah. We took a lot of fun pictures. We did a lot of fun, like little videos and stuff for the launch pad. We saw a lot of funny we cracked each other up a lot. Which is always the effing goal.
Yeah.
Did you get anything cool? Did you buy anything or make anything? Did you bring?
I bought some
home?
stickers for my kid. That was about it. I was like, I was saving my money. It's expensive.
To rent a guitar, that would not happen.
I'm going to save all my Comic-Con money and rent a sweet ass guitar as soon as I get to Boston.
Now you can't get any to Denim. You can't get any guitars because now you can't get any Comic-Con stuff because now you can't rent a guitar. You got to fucking buy one. So you got to save more money.
Look, well, I owe you for a hotel room.
Oh fuck yeah, you do. That's right.
Ruby and I, like, we pay each other back, and he does the math, and he tells me how much it costs, and it always happens to land on like when you first start a job, you don't get paid for like 2 weeks because it's like you got to fill out your paperwork, and then you filled it out wrong, and then you have to like redo your paperwork, and then the guy tells you that you spelled it wrong, and that date isn't correct.
I like in this joke, you've admitted 2 faults, which means that there's 2 other podcasts happening right now where the idiots are like, you know what fucking sucks? When you have a new visual effects guy, he comes on and you're like, oh, you spelled your fucking name wrong. And he's like, I know. And you're like, dude, this is the second form that I've had you refill out.
Yeah.
This is why this guy's not getting paid on time.
It's the fucking show accountant podcast. Oh, yeah. I wonder how many people go to their YouTube and leave 100 comments. You suck. Your payroll's gotten worse every year. Somebody got really mad from our Ghostface Killer trivia, and they left a lot of comments under our YouTube that was like out of line. He's like, "You're not funny. Nobody listens to you. Your prizes suck." And I was like, "Valid, fine. If you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm not funny, fine. I might even agree with you." But then he's like, "You guys are racist." And I was like, "What? Like that's out of line, guy." Like
based on what? And he's like, the way we pick winners, and I was like, we pick winners based on who answers questions.
Yeah, I answered a question. Like, so you didn't get a shirt, and now you're mad. Bummer.
That's very much what it seemed like. So
yeah.
If you're listening, grumpy person, let us know. Like, we'd love to hear why you're disgruntled and tell us. Now, I hope I'm saying this in good faith and hoping that whoever's grumpy is gonna listen to this and say, I'm mad because of this, and maybe we can talk it out. But maybe we can fix it.
Well,
that's what I'd love to hear, or at least discuss it. What's going to happen is 5 or 6 funny people who listen to our show are going to write in pretending to be him, and hilarity is going to ensue. I actually now hope that happens more than actually a real good conversation and peaceful resolution. I mean, I'm not funny. What do I know? I'm a non-funny racist, but...
yeah. As we found out. Oh my God. Oh, one of the things with Blaine, that was really funny when we were interviewing Blaine. Blaine's a funny guy. He's good stuff. Like, yeah, man, we've had some good stuff. It was a really good Comic-Con, and it's always good. It's a lot. It's a whirlwind, but it feels good to do it. Real quick, with the 1 minute we have left, we watched Alien Earth.
Oh yeah, this is going to be about Alien Earth.
We'll save it for next time.
I watched 2 hours of that show on a night that I didn't really have 2 hours purposely for this episode.
Yeah, I stayed up and watched it live on a TV in a hotel room that can't really stream television. So it was all clunky and like shitty and blocky, and it was like,
Like the graphics look terrible. That looked like N64 graphics of the alien running around.
It did. It did. So, here's my analogy, and I think it's a good analogy. And we will do an episode about Alien Earth.
I was gonna say, just let's not do an Alien Earth episode. Let's just sum it up in one analogy and just let it go.
I was so nervous that it was going to start sucking at any moment that I watched the whole thing and I likened it to getting a tattoo where you're like, is it going to hurt? Is it going to start hurting? Is this what it feels like? And then it was over and I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I kind of want another.
Oh, I'm a tiny little bitch.
But the whole time I was anxious about the show just starting to is it going to start completely sucking? And it certainly did things that I didn't like and we'll complain about when we do our episode. But
sure.
At the end I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And I do want to watch more. And it's on tonight. I'm missing it right now.
Well, keep it tuned here because I actually have a lot to say about it, I think.
Good.
I won't tell you which way. I won't tell you if I agree or disagree or up or down. But let's get another episode under our belt. And I won't tell you guys, listeners, that this is going to be our next episode because you know how we tend to digress and make right, left turns wherever.
It was supposed to be this episode. We fucked up. Somewhere along the line. Somewhere along the sign says somebody who tuned into this episode. I'm going to name this episode the Alien Earth episode. And people are just going to be like.
Just going to say that. There's a sign hanging outside the launch pad saying now recording Alien Earth. And people are walking in and being like, the sign says Alien.
You guys just talked about yourselves in podcasts the whole time. You guys suck.
You're racist. Racism is not funny, but it is funny when someone calls you a racist for non-racial reasons that have actually no bias.
Because you didn't answer the question right to get a free t-shirt. Free t-shirts make people go ballistic.
It's true. I didn't think that guy would care about a t-shirt with our signatures. I said that as a joke. The joke being, who cares about our signatures? Even our listeners, I don't think care about our signatures. Spoiler alert, they're not worth anything. I will sign anything you want me to. I'm not like one of those people who's like, oh, no, I will only sign it to your name. If I don't give I'll sign.
eBay that shit. How much you going to get?
Give me a Guitar Center sign. I'll sign that shit.
I'll sign every guitar in Guitar Center and then run away.
Run away through an apartment complex while teenagers chase you.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
God. I hope that those teenagers are getting together right now.
Yeah.
Like at the dude in the wheelchair in Metalocalypse when he starts to create an army of people who hate Metalocalypse. That's what I want to happen. I want, and you could call them, I mean, I don't want to name them, but we're called the Handsome Boys. So what would you call our Bizarro group?
The broccoli heads? Bunch of little broccoli heads.
I would love to get like a Legion of Doom version of us, like who wants to take us down.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We wouldn't even know they exist until they take us down. You're like, why? And you're like, oh, broccoli head, no.
They wouldn't be like fighting us with jetpacks during our giant concerts. They would like suddenly our YouTube would be down and two people would be like, oh, and then do something different.
They just hit us in their 4x4 and drive away. Fuck you, old man.
Our two YouTube subscribers would be like, oh, I guess I have 2 hours free tonight.
I'm going to watch Twitch.
Watch Alien Earth. See what this is about.
I'm just going to watch Disney's. I'm just going to watch Disney's Ice Age and call it a night.
From left field, but like I was okay with it.
Fuck that.
I love when we very much disagree on something that seems inconsequential.
Why it's awesome. Low stakes. At least I'm not betting on it. Who's gonna bet?
No, I bet. I said which animated dinosaur movie would appear in the Aliens vs. Predator vs. Terminator universe. I lost like $7,000. Can't go to college because of Alien Earth. Kent's going to
Fair.
say, but your bank account says a lot of money. And I'm going to say, corporate made me put that up there. It's not you don't actually have that money.
He'd be like, Dad, are you an asshole? And you'd be like, the guy on YouTube says yes. According to the guy who came every year to our panel, yes. Oh
man.
well. Rumi,
Well,
there's one
like
more
and
thing.
subscribe.
Yeah, hit like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, even if we are assholes. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, our website, launchpadpod.com, and our YouTube, where we're still going to be saying funny things and making funny faces until the world implodes, until the aliens get us.
Bizarro group gets us.
Till I get run over by broccoli heads. There's only one more thing for us to do. It's blast this thing off. Rumi, you ready to go? Which side am I doing on? Here we go. Ready?
Got it.
1, 2, 3. We're the Rocketeers. We are out.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,